Welcome back, everybody, to a very, very special edition of the Midweek Update. I have my buddy Brian Hay here today. Brian, are you doing okay, man?
Man, I'm good, brother.
All right. If you were with us this past Sunday, you heard Brian share his story of transition here into a new ministry role in Florida, and we're going to get to that here in a minute. But Brian, I just wanted to first say that I thought it was a powerful message Sunday. We talked going into Sunday. We didn't want to make it just about you.
Right.
As much as we love you and appreciate you, the reason we gather on Sunday is to celebrate and honor Jesus and to study His Word. And you did a great job leading us through that and preaching the Word. Yeah. And you have always done so. But we are going to miss you and want to send you off well. We thought we would do this today just to allow us a little bit more time to talk about things. Sunday morning, we're on the clock. It's just always that way. And there's
although I preached as if there wasn't. I preached a little long, so sorry about that.
I told you before second service, take all day if you want.
It, man.
Yeah. So we wanted to just spend a little bit more time, allow you guys out there just to hear a little bit more from Brian. Both kind of looking back a little bit, sharing some fond memories. But I think most importantly, I want you guys to hear about what Brian's going to be doing and where he's headed. It's just so exciting, and we're anxious for that. But we squeezed him in here for one last day here in the office to get this recorded and prep for the midweek update. So, Brian, thanks for hanging here with me. So what we're going to do is look back a little bit. Now, you spend any amount of time in full-time ministry. Doesn't take long for your book of stories to start to develop. I keep saying, man, at this point, I'm going to write like a multi-volume novel or series, of 2.5 decades. But 5 years in, 6 if we count the internship, right?
Right.
And that's been debatable whether we should count the internship as I guess we could. So let's say 6 years on staff here at OCC. That certainly is plenty of time to see some interesting things, do some things. So share a little bit about just some of those fond or maybe unexpected memories here at OCC.
Yeah, man, it has been a journey. Not only the 6 years before coming on staff, but the 6 years of being on staff, of never being a part of a church and being a part of that. And man, it's been fun. It's been a crazy ride, but a ton of fun. And man, we have had, I think fun's the right word. We've had a lot of fun doing different things. I love the freedom of creativity, especially when I was preaching a lot there for a season.
Right, yeah.
And, the things that this guy, I'm blaming him, that he let me do, was things that later on we were like, well, maybe that wasn't necessarily the best thing about it. There was a time that I brought out that high-powered propane tank. And just like the idea was like the flame. I was talking about the burning up on the sacrifice and talking about like torching it. So I had a blowtorch out there, and I lit that thing up. And when it lit up, the little bowl I had there, it shot some flames and some ashes into the first row. It was incredible, man. So if you were part of those, fun. I'd say that the Charlie Daniels, man, when the devil went down to Georgia. Yeah. But man, of all of those though, when me and you did the beatboxing.
Oh, that's right.
You remember when we did the beatboxing? So,
I do remember that.
So it was that was
pretty spectacular.
It was like a Michael Jackson before Michael Jackson was completely outed for all the messed up stuff he did. Yeah. We did that, and that was just out of the blue. We were talking about unique giftedness that God's given us, and some things that don't seem very useful.
Yeah, I don't remember if that was even really planned or if that was impromptu. It's hard to remember.
Yeah, there was. I'd say that, I'd hope that God was in that one. I don't know.
Somehow.
There was something that was.
Yeah. Somehow he was. Yeah.
So
he's definitely in the fire. I mean, God's in the fire.
Yes, there it
is.
You
did fire that worked. We were talking before we started taping here. We all kind of shared in this moment. This wasn't unique to you. But when Ken was preaching, the lights went out. Yeah,
man, I'll never forget that there was just this eerie, quiet hush across the room.
Yeah.
Like there was no microphones working. There was nothing. So it was just Ken and his like he has like a radio voice anyways,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's just him preaching like to out into the whole congregation up in the balcony. I mean,
He
it was
used his
just
cell
this neat-
phone to light his
That's
notes.
right. That's
You
right.
know,
He did.
the dude didn't miss a beat.
No,
you know, it's
no,
like
nothing
you
to it.
cannot throw that guy off.
He's
You
been
know,
preaching for 60 years. I mean, this guy
Yeah.
is just it's
just
awesome.
kept it going, man. Yeah, yeah.
good
That was
times, man.
pretty unique experience. In fact, I don't know. I think that's the only time that's ever happened.
Yeah.
You know, that was pretty rare stuff.
man.
Yeah. What else? What else comes to mind?
You know, one of these great stories was so when I was an intern and I was over at the Oasis House, which is just on the property here,
Right.
over a little
Yeah.
bit. And Bill Geiger was here. We were walking over together to the Oasis House, and we saw a little something moving in the grass, and it was this big old rat snake. And so I'll never forget that the day that I figured that this Bill Geiger guy, he really does not cuss. Like this guy literally does not, because we were walking behind this snake that crawled up onto a little mound, and then what we didn't know was on this little mound of grass, we were like falling up behind it, like we were getting ready to go take and kill the snake. So
Right.
I was walking up behind it. He was walking on the other side. Well, a rabbit lunged at him
Yeah.
because that's what the snake was after.
Yeah.
Lunged at him. He thought it was a snake lunging after him, and he flew up against the fence out there. Anyways, one of the best moments of my life. And he didn't fuss or say anything inappropriate. I was like, Bill,
Yeah.
you truly are
Wow,
a good guy, man.
Self-restraint there, boy. Yeah.
So there's just so many stories here that
Yeah.
are a blast, man.
Yeah. Good stuff. You mentioned in your message, the number of folks you've had the opportunity to baptize. Sometimes
man.
baptisms they're always very special, powerful moments. Sometimes things can happen a little bit, unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was preaching. It was the second time I'd ever preached, and it was the first guy that came forward after hearing me preach. He was new to the church. And he actually called up the church specifically to speak to me after the sermon, and he wanted to meet with me, and he had this whole unpacking. It was just a beautiful story of redemption and what God was bringing him out of. And man, I felt like I was flying high. I mean, I was like, the next Sunday, we're like, all right, buddy, well, I'll baptize you, man. We're gonna do it this Sunday. So he has his family coming out. Everybody's here, And so I take him on back to the back there to get dressed and everything. And this is my first baptism from me being on staff and being here in the ministry, and I was like, this is going to be an amazing moment. So I go through the whole thing, and I baptize him, man. He gets up, everybody's applauding, and then he whispers to me, he says, hey, that's not my name, right? And I realized on mic in front of everyone that I said the wrong name. I was like, let me introduce you to, and I called him Bill Williams. And his name was William Matthews, and I completely messed it up. And like the entire family was all like, "Who is it that he's baptizing? And what is this?" I mean, they're recording it, they're keeping it forever. Just messed up. And he told me afterwards, he was like, "So how does this work with the whole Holy Spirit thing? Like, do you need to redo it, or was like there's some guy named Bill Williams that was like at McDonald's that suddenly received the Holy Spirit since that's who?" I was like, "No, man, goodness, ruined it." So God
Jesus
can use
knows,
anybody.
man. That's
what
right.
Jesus knows.
He knows. He knows. Yeah. Now, while in the baptism context, one of the big pioneering, let's call it pioneering things that you did for us in the outreach area, because Brian started with us over in the groups ministry. We shifted him to outreach, and we've killed off a lot of sacred cows over the years, but we had one, man, that was still in place, and it was the white baptism robes. And I want to tread lightly because this may still be a sensitive topic, but and I won't say it was just your idea, but you were the guy to lead us into this transition.
So send all hate mail to my new email address.
Yeah, if you were wondering why we stopped using baptism robes, this is the reason.
That's right.
Yeah, it's all on you. Well, talk about that process.
Yeah, man. So it actually happened right in the middle of COVID. So we had already ordered it, and the COVID kind of hit. That created that opportunity. But yeah, we wanted to we wanted to be as natural and normal as possible. Like this is, the white robes fit a purpose specifically to being able to cover up folks and everything that
Modesty,
they're wearing underneath their modesty and all of that. And what we found was that there was another way, and also that we could use as an opportunity to give them a gift and to proclaim a message. So if you'll notice now, there's a message on the front of each shirt, and it's set free or made new or forgiven. Something that just has that says something to them, and something they get to keep.
Yeah.
So we were like, instead of just having a robe they put on, and not only do you look a little bit like you're an angel floating in the water, but now you actually get to have something that you get to take home, and you get to remember it. And this is a shirt that I had on, and so we felt like it'd be a little bit more special, a little bit more normative, and something that people would really appreciate.
Yeah. No, it's been good, man.
Yeah.
It's been good. Yeah. And I think we did find a church to take those robes and still use them.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're still being used.
Absolutely.
And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Well, let's talk about this opportunity and just how God has led you to this. Talk about the church, name of the church, location, kind of the basics here.
Sure. Yeah. So it's Bridgepoint Church, and it's located, their main campus is located in St. Petersburg, Florida. So they've been around for, I think it was about 2013 is when the church was launched, and they had a founding pastor that launched that in an area. In fact, the area was known kind of within the church world as the place in which church plants come to die. A very tough soil to get landed in. Not only is it hard just to get land or to build there, but the culture in that community is just not the Bible Belt. It's just not received and welcomed the way that a lot of us are used to, church being a part of your life, or the schools around you is just a part of the Christian schools or Catholic schools or anything. In that community, it's just not. So, and yet God took them, and the bridge point, their symbol is actually a cross, and it's a cross kind of almost in the shape of a bridge. And it was just talking about, how Jesus was the bridge between our brokenness and the holiness of God, that it's kind of the bridge point. The whole point of it was like this is the point where you can meet Christ, and that is the bridge to take you to God. And so they just kind of went 100% after that. Very similar to OCC, style-wise, feel-wise, people-wise. It's just very much like home, which I loved, and they loved about me, because it seemed like the right marriage, and yet we're further along in some ways, and that they're hoping to bring into that. That they were hoping to take some of the things that I've learned and grown in here and be able to apply to them there, and really just continue to build on the momentum that God's doing in that area, and being one of the fastest growing churches in America for a 3-year run. So you got a very unchurched people group in that community with a very fast-growing church that's just looking for additional leadership and growing in discipleship and continue to grow in their outreach and their missional focus, and seemed like the right fit.
And like a lot of churches who have a fast pace of growth, they may outgrow their facility, either seats or just square footage. They're just busting at the seams, or from just a pure strategic standpoint, location-wise, to start that multi-site idea. Right. What led them to go into the multi-site aspect of it?
It was literally running out of space. And part of it was vision. They saw God's moving them in a unique way. And going into that community, you could just drive through that community and see the lack of churches, just the lack of presence. There just isn't. So they knew there's a need for that desperately in that community. And so the leaders there, the founding pastor, really was just pushing to, hey, let's go after as many campuses as we can across this community, and continue just to fan the flame that God has got lit, and that's what they've been doing, and they've been faithful to that. And the church is right now, I think it's right around 3,000 people is the normal attendance for them, but they or membership wise, and they are just still see God moving in really awesome ways. And so I'm excited to be a part of that. Now they have their main campus. They have a downtown campus. I'm taking what is a church that they bought a building that was originally a church that they renovated. That's in Seminole, Florida, which I'll be the campus pastor of, and then they're looking to continue on into Clearwater. So,
gotcha. Yeah, so the Seminole Campus is where you'll be leading out specifically. Again, you're part of the entire church, Bridgepoint church staff and family. Will be sharing preaching role with the lead guy, similar to here at times, but most specifically, and in this kind of first phase, if you will, of this role, your job is to what specifically?
Yeah, it is to help launch this campus.
Yeah.
So it is the oversight of the staffing, the lead volunteers, Sunday morning experience, the launch of the building, and all the things that's going on within it. There's last little bit phases of reconstruction and all of that's going on, and really help launch groups there, help launch the children's ministry there, help launch the worship team that'll be taking on that thing. So basically everything that you see within the launch of, or to have a community connection outside of the specific preaching every week that you would expect for a lead pastor, that's really what I'll be doing.
Yeah. So nervous? What's going on inside right now?
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm never more aware of my failures than when pushed to the point of break. Like you just, man, you're just with this. You know, what was really humbling and troubling was that there were so many people that applied for this position,
right?
That I thought there's no way I'm gonna get it. And so when I got it, I was joking with my wife and those guys. I was like, man, first thing I'm gonna do when I get here is help you guys with your hiring process, because if you had 190 applicants, there had to have been somebody better than me to get in that role. But the fact that they chose me, it's one of those things, man. You just in ministry, and JC, you feel it as much as anybody here. Just it's a beautiful weight, but it's a weight that you know how precious and valuable this is. You just really, really, really don't want to mess it up. And you also don't want to get in the way. You don't want it to be about you. You don't want it to. And so really, just how can we help God move and breathe and just continue to push and develop the body of Christ to become all that He wants it to be. And that's a big weight.
There's a really healthy respect of and humility of the responsibility, that you go into it, coupled with this, I call it God confidence, confidence in who God is, His sovereignty and authority over it all, and what He has put in you and in me and anybody, tasked, given the responsibility to steward a lot of resource and both people and things physically and spiritually, and confident that God, it's that He who began a good work in you is going to be faithful to complete it. And I love that, and that's what he's doing here. We talked a lot, about just that. Are you ready? Sort of. Do you feel like this is the right time? And it always comes down to we're never fully ready, or maybe as ready as we want to be. And that's I'm glad you're doing this, because you risk getting stuck. You risk, if you don't jump, then you just step a little bit further back, and it's even harder the next time. And I think the bigger challenge for you and Steph is the relational transition.
No doubt.
The close friends, the years of nurturing and building relationships that this aren't over. But will be different. So share a little bit about all that. Yeah.
Well, the way I described it was back when we were doing small groups and our group was getting very close. I didn't know how close we were getting until at the time when I was back with the other company that I was with, I had gotten a promotion, and I realized the first 5 phone calls I made was to my small group. And it wasn't to my own personal family. And I was like, whoa, like they've reached a point where I would rather celebrate with them than even my own family. I was like, they've gotten that close to us personally. And it wasn't like I thought about it. It was just immediately instinctive. Who do I want that I know will be for me and celebrate with me and do so with love? And man, that is this community that we have here. With Stephanie and all of the things that she's gone through with cancer, it's only brought us all closer together.
Right.
You go through trials like that, and the people that love you are just with you and beside you. And so that going through the fire has refined all of that into a purity and a love that we feel within this body and within the unique individuals within the body. So yeah, there is no there is no like replacing, flip the switch, and then you just have that. We are excited that God has some people that we know that God's calling us to go invest in and love in there. But yeah, the best way I've described it is in two ways. Is like the wedding where you're giving away your son in marriage. You're not losing your son, but it's different now. You know, they got a new family. And in the same way, I feel that way. I feel like I'm taking on a new bride. And a new family. But man, this will always be home. And there's something beautiful that I think is going to be the case here. We'll see, but I think it really is. Which just like my own personal family, it's like I may not see my brother for 8 months. But when we get back together, we're right back. Because there's so much depth of love there that even the separation in time, you just come right back together, and man, you hit it right off. So.
No, I think we can both be confident that will be the case. A lot will happen in between that time. But yeah, being able to just pick right back up, and healthy relationships do that, and that's the case here. So we'll hold you to the visits, and you know, as soon as you guys get settled into the house, you know, we'll start making reservations.
Come on down, man. I don't know. We'll have to strategize a little bit. You come see me in the winter. I'll come up here in the summer. You know, because
we got to make the rounds because we got to get over to Ian.
That's right.
You know, Vero, and then over to you.
It's only about 2 hours and 45 minutes to go over to see Ian. So we can make that.
No, man, it's so exciting, and so thanks for sharing. Thanks for sharing all that, and like I said Sunday, send Brian an email, send him a note, call he and Steph, however you feel led to reach out to say, kind of just offer your personal thanks. We'll have to do that, opportunity to do that in person this coming Sunday. Brian and Steph will be here in person Sunday, out in the lobby throughout the morning to see you guys, and they'll appreciate any encounters you can have. We will miss you. Brian, around here, we will miss your kiddos the most.
No doubt.
Those two, man. You know, and I know all parents want to kind of bottle up that stage where they're so cute like this, because I know the next time we see them, that they'll morph into kind of that next stage of growth, and they'll change quickly. So, but yeah, we'll be praying for them and you guys. Just over the next few weeks, lot to do. So
thanks, brother.
The house is sold, right?
Yeah, sold fast.
Here. Yeah, it's just that market. So, but down there, still looking, right?
Yeah, still looking.
That's what's the next few weeks trying to figure that piece out. Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thanks for hanging with us. A reminder that this Sunday we launch a new series called Top 10. Fitz will kick that off for us. Then Sunday night, our new grouping opportunity based on the TV series The Chosen starts at 6 o'clock. And we're just super excited about this unique opportunity to gather together, watch about 45-minute clip of the show, and then split off into groups, fellowship together, grow together, meet some new friends, and spend some time together over the next several Sunday nights. So that all gets started this Sunday evening at 6. You guys have a great rest of the week. Thanks for being with us. We love you. See you next Sunday.
CC. Love you guys.